Hey game developers, Bilal from Zenfinity.net and welcome to another Unity tutorial. And in this one we're going to be creating a bullet trailing effect using the trail renderer built into Unity. All we're going to do is edit one of these prefabs that we have here that gets instantiated whenever the player fires. So let me show you what we have right now in our starter scene. We have basically a character that can fire, and it's from this tutorial that you can click on the top right if you're interested on learning how to fire bullets. But now we're just going to make sure that these bullets have that trailing effect by adding a trail renderer. So let's go ahead and open our prefabs folder here, and we see that we have this bullet prefab. And on this, I'm going to go ahead and add a trail renderer component. Now, the trick to a trail renderer is we want to actually make sure that the front of the trail renderer is going to be wider than the edge of the trail renderer if we want it to make this kind of effect. So to do that, we need to add a key here and then drag this key down and to the end. So this way we kind of have this curve here where it eases into basically a very, very narrow edge. So we get that kind of triangular effect. So now the other important thing that we need to pay attention to is our time here. So let's bring our time down to something more like I'd say 4, and maybe even lower. I'm actually going to go down to 0.25 for this example, and we can raise it and test out different things. But that basically means how long the trail renderer is going to last before it ends, which is kind of the determining factor for how long our trails are going to look. So finally, the last thing that I want to change is our width here. So I'll change this to about 0.1 and see how that affects it and what it looks like, and then we can edit it from there on. Please note that I am editing a prefab here so that every time this is instantiated, it does something different rather than just changing one of the objects in the scene. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is just turn off our shadow casting and receiving because we don't really need that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and hit play, and we should see that our bullets have that trail, but they are purple because they're missing a material. So let's go ahead and create a material for our bullet here. I'll go into our materials folder and I'll hit create material. Now I'm going to change this to be an particle additive, and I'll rename it bullet trail. And let's make the tint color white. And let's go ahead and hit play and see what this looks like now. Oh, and I forgot, actually, let's go ahead and add it to our prefab. So we have a materials list here, and we only want one material. So we can just go ahead and drag this bullet trail into here. And now every bullet we instantiate should be using that white material. Okay, and there we go. We see that kind of trailing effect. So if I have this prefab selected here in the inspector still, why don't we go ahead and drag our time down to like 0.1 and see what that looks like. And so, I mean, there, you go ahead and play with the time however you like. I mean, maybe you want these very long streaks. Maybe you want those really tiny ones from 0.1. But that is actually going to be it for creating a bullet trail. Like if it helped you out, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more like this. And if you want to create your first game right now, just go ahead and click in the top right. There's an ebook about all the game tools that you need for your first game if you're new to making games in general. If you're interested in going even faster, then make sure to click on this video on the top right. It's a sample video from our course on how to create your first game. Totally free. It's all about how to create a spaceship and use controls in that spaceship in Unity. So I will see you in the next video, and have a good day.